We are live. We are back. Welcome to another webinar series as you're popping in. William Allison, good to see you, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Dude, tonight's a big topic, man. Okay, those that are jumping in, chat, I believe, is active. Okay, test it for me. Let me know, Christopher, Cliff, Ali, David, where you're watching from, and give me your location so I know that chat is working as you're jumping in and watching this tonight. We had hundreds of agents respond saying, dude, I want to learn from William Allison on how to become $1 million producer in just 90 days. Okay. What's up, Rick in Tennessee, Will in Ohio, Ali in Toronto, or Ali in Toronto, Canada. I love it. Okay. Christopher in Florida. Appreciate you guys being active in the chat. I can tell you one thing, the more active you are, the better William will be. Okay. The more positive you are, the better William will be. The more enthusiastic you are, even though we can't see you, the better William Allison will be tonight. Okay, so welcome to tonight. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Leanne? What's up, Raymundo? What's up, Kayla? I see some familiar faces and some new faces. I love it. Welcome to the webinar. Appreciate you being here. Tonight's all about, okay, here's what you're going to get tonight. Here's why you should pay attention. Here's why you should take notes. William's going to walk through specifically. What's up, Josh Rockwood? What's up, Robin? William's going to walk through exactly how to become $1 million producer in 90 days. Now, can anybody do this? If they follow a system and they're coachable and they stick to what we're going to talk about tonight, yes, they can. Will most not? Will some people on here maybe have an ego or have their pride get in the way or not listen or try to do it their way or kind of work like they still worked at Chick-fil-A, right? Whatever, right? Unfortunately, that's probably the case. But I can tell you this, my buddy William Allison out of Oklahoma as well, even though I see we got a few other Okies in the building tonight, is a impressive individual with a lot of insurance industry experience that have done really, really well for himself. And he's got an office in Oklahoma that is crushing it with health insurance. So I'm excited to welcome him to the webinar. I'm excited for you to take some notes. I'm excited for you to learn. And I'm excited for those that will implement it and become $1 million producer in 90 days. William, welcome to the webinar, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So this was a big topic, buddy. Okay. $1 million in 90 days. And we'll go about 30 minutes. For those that are on there, we'll go about 30 minutes tonight. No reason for us to, expand this over hours unless we just keep dropping bombs for hours and you want us to. Okay. Why this topic? You chose this title, which I love the title, by the way, but you chose it. Why'd you choose this one?
Well, I think that a lot of agents kind of stumble around and they don't stay focused and they really, need to be, focused on what they're doing. And I put that 90 days thing in there because I thought, we all need a goal to hit. And we're in the health insurance space. I mean, that's our primary market. And you know what's coming up? Open enrollment's coming up here shortly. And that's our prime season. That's our peak season. And that's when we start, we have a great year all year long, but we tend to write more business during that time of year. And we want to help everybody that wants to work in that space. And I think there's a lot here that people can use or take away, even if they don't want to work in that space.
That's right. Absolutely. I do believe no matter what you write or what you want to accomplish, that you can learn something from anybody. My buddy William clearly believes that as well. William, for those that don't know your story or why they should listen to you, I would love for you to quickly recap your experience, what's brought you to today. Maybe brag on yourself a little bit, even though you're a very humble guy. That's not normal for you to do, but I'm giving you permission. Okay. Can we get a yes in chat? Can I give William permission to brag on his accomplishments for a quick second so that you can learn more about him and it can prove to you that you should keep listening? Okay, good. I mean, the votes are in, man. They want you to brag. So let's do it.
Well, I got out of college and I went to the University of Oklahoma. And when I got out of college, the economy was horrible. I took a government job. I absolutely hated it. My father was an entrepreneur and I looked up to him and he was very successful, but I wanted to do things on my own. After being in a government job for a couple of years, I went to law school for about 1.5 years, absolutely hated it. I just wasn't meant to be a lawyer. I had good friends that were in law school and I thought, hey, this is a great field. You can do well, make a lot of money, but I just wasn't driven. I wasn't turned on by it. I wasn't excited and I was doing very mediocre. And so, my determination or my my goal was to figure out a way to convince my parents that I could do something besides go to law school and be a lawyer, and I could do that other thing and be very, very successful. I went to work in the insurance industry in 1991, and I started making money and I started doing well. And, I thought if I make enough money, I can tell my parents, hey, maybe this is my calling. My father was a very successful insurance executive, so that did help because he'd been in the field and had no education and had done very, very well. And so he was kind of my mentor basically, and taught me what we call the 4 Ds in our industry. One, drive. You need a strong work ethic, and I think I had that. I was just stumbling around trying to figure out what I wanted to do and what I wanted to do with my life. And so, he taught me about determination, but none of those things matter if you don't know what you want to do. And so I was trying to find the direction, the 3rd D. And he always taught me, listen, once you figure out what you want to do in life and you have that direction, if you have that direction and the determination and the drive, you can be very successful. And the last D, the last D out of the 4 is to be dedicated and to always be trying to hone your craft, learn more, and be better at what you do. And so I went to work in 1991. I eventually dropped out of law school because I was doing really well, making a lot of money. I became a manager over a small team of agents in about 6 weeks on the job, which was just scared me to death because I was still learning, how to sell and what to do and so forth. But I absolutely loved it. I met my wife a year later at an insurance convention of all things. We have 4 children, 3 boys and a daughter. 3 of the boys have been licensed and work with us. And my daughter, she's the lone opt-out that's not working with us, but her husband is a computer or software engineer, and he's helped me a lot with technology. So I guess that's her participation for the family business.
I love it, man. I love it. And what have you accomplished over your career?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I've helped a lot of people. I feel like I've been able to help a lot of people in the healthcare market, which is that's what we focus on, is health insurance. I think today we've got a lot of people that are just totally confused about health insurance, don't know what to do, don't know how to approach it, they want to save money, but they don't want to buy the wrong plan. And there's just so much confusion about it. And so that's what we try to do, is we try to help people to understand the health insurance market and what benefits are available to them.
Yes. Why health insurance? There's some that would say that actually I haven't heard it as much recently. You used to hear back when carriers were leaving the space that there wasn't any money in it, but now, dude, I know so many people that are making a killing in health insurance. I know more. I probably know more 7-figure earners that are running a local health insurance agency than running a local life agency. It's just,
I personally believe, and we write life insurance, but we lead with health insurance because it's the number one problem in America that people don't know how to deal with. And if we can save a family $300, $400, $500 a month on their health insurance, we can easily talk about life insurance at that point. We just don't lead with life insurance because we think it's a more difficult way to go. But the plans that we offer are from private health insurance companies that are not necessarily ACA compliant, but they have a lot of extra features that you won't find in the marketplace. And the cost is about half of what they'll typically find in the marketplace.
Wow. That's unique.
Very unique. Yeah.
Yeah, that stands out, really. I mean, you don't hear that a lot. I like that you're talking about solving a problem. There are a lot of agents that need to realize that the goal should be to solve a problem. Like you solve enough other people's problems, you start to solve your own, How can someone become start to reach, become $1 million producer over 90 days? As you thought through this topic and how you were going to deliver content and value and share tips and strategies to accomplish that.
I truly believe technology is our friend. when I started in the industry, we had no technology. Everything, was manual. There was no automation. We were just, it was very inefficient. Okay. So, I truly believe that if you embrace technology, that, you can really, go far. I mean, you can't do it all yourself. If you're on the phone calling people every day, that's a very inefficient way to work. You need help. And there's all sorts of tools and software. We look at a lot of different software almost every day because there's so many things. I mean, this is a technological explosion. What I've seen over the last 20 to 25 years is just mind-boggling. So that's really, really important. So we try to develop an all digital, all virtual outreach strategy. And so once we do that, we're reaching people through multiple channels, multiple campaigns, and that makes a big, big difference because you can't just do all the heavy lifting yourself.
No, you can't. You need some help. You need some people. I was trying to turn my mic a little bit up. Let me know in chat if that's working or if that's helping. I can also stop using the mic and just use the webcam mic too. So,
yeah. One thing I'd like to say is the health insurance plans that we offer have some real advantages. And I'd like to come back to the technology here in a second. We find that we have a very modern approach to health insurance and how to help our clients save thousands of dollars. We have low to zero deductible, annual deductible plans with ability to choose any doctor they want to see, go to any hospital that they want to go to. If they stay in network, they do save more money. They can use Teladoc, which is telemedicine, which is free and unlimited. Again, another efficient technology to help our clients. These plans include preventative care and prescription drug coverage and patient advocacy services. We're very big on patient advocacy. There are a lot of hospitals out here, in my opinion, that take advantage of people with excessive billing. A pair of surgical gloves shouldn't cost $900. They should cost $5 or really less than that, And so not all the hospitals, I don't want to say all of them, there are some, but we see a lot of what we call excessive billing in the medical industry, because when you get a bill, do you understand what you're looking at? You got all these codes. It takes somebody that's skilled and understands all that stuff. And we have a company that actually does that. So sometimes if our clients get a billing or something that doesn't seem right, a lot of times we're able to help them negotiate that down with our advocacy services. We also like to reward those policyholders with excess claim dollars if they use their plan in a smart way. Okay. And so in 2020, the healthcare or the Transparent Healthcare Pricing Act, it actually became effective January 1st of 2021, but that basically says that all the hospitals and medical providers are required by law to provide transparent pricing, put pricing out on their websites. And so people should be able to find that pricing and know what it's going to cost to go have a surgery or something before they even have that done. Yes. Health insurance companies we work with they're actually rewarding their clients for being smart consumers and checking those things out before they just get price gouged by a medical provider. So those are things that we're doing that I think are very innovative. And I think that, as we head into open enrollment, I think we'll see that we'll have record numbers again this year as we did last year, because people they're looking for a better way. They get a medical plan that has an $8,000 deductible through the marketplace. Your typical family can't afford that. They can't use their plan. They're frustrated. Those plans are expensive if they cannot get a subsidy. And a lot of times there are HMOs where they're very restricted to where they can go and how they can use the plan. So we kind of have this belief and this philosophy of teaching our clients to take control of their own healthcare, kind of a non-traditional philosophy. We offer our clients a lot of flexibility, control, and again, that transparency helps a lot. So that's kind of what we do with the health plans. A lot of these are fully underwritten. I say to everybody all the time, I say, the marketplace plans are guaranteed issue. There's no health questions. If you're the insurance company you got to charge more for that, right? There's a reason why all these insurance companies are mailing out letters now telling people that their premiums are going down for the next few months. Well, that's
Yes.
because they're refunding money back to those individuals because they overcharged them in the first place, because they don't know how to price the plans because there's no underwriting. The plans that we write are generally designed for healthy people. They do have some underwriting, but it's really aggressive. Most people, I'm going to say 70 to 80% of people do qualify, and again, cut their premiums in half. So we've got what we feel
Big number.
like, yeah, I mean, we feel like we've got insurance coverage, health insurance coverage that is fantastic. It is a niche market that we're working in. These plans have higher commissions than your typical health insurance plans on the marketplace. We always package in like some extra accident and critical illness, and a lot of times life insurance, dental, vision. So our plan is to earn a client and to give them all the benefits that they need. So that's our strategy, so to speak, as far as product and working in a niche market. And then from there, we develop, a way to market ourselves. And that's what I really want to talk about next, is how to use technology to market yourself. Again, if you're at the phone, if you're sitting at a phone at a table with a list of phone numbers, there is no way you can have enough outreach to be successful. I mean, even with a power dialer, auto dialer, I mean, and even if you could, do you really want to do that? I don't know anybody that really wants to do that, right? So our goal here is, instead of you chasing people, let's get those prospects chasing you. That's the whole idea here. And that's what technology can do for us these days. And so what I recommend that agents do, first of all, is they need to set their goals. They need to know exactly what they're trying to achieve. They need to know what their why is. We've heard that a lot of times. What's your why? For me, it's my kids, my grandkids, my family. But everybody's got, a different goal in mind. You got to know what makes you tick,
Yes.
what makes you passionate, what makes you fired up, what makes you want to work past midnight to 2 a.m, what makes you want to, go the extra mile, work 7 days a week. And I'm not saying you do that all the time, but during open enrollment, we do work 7 days a week because it's prime time, right?
That's right.
The lights are on. We got to make it happen. It's prime time. So, again, that's number one. We've got to know why we're doing this, because we're going to put in some hours. We're going to put in some blood, sweat, and tears here. So when the going gets tough, instead of quitting, we're going to remind ourselves, yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because,
Right.
the wife, the kids, the grandkids, whatever it might be for you. So again, we want to develop an all digital virtual outreach strategy. You need to figure out what your monthly budget is, what you can afford. You can do a lot on a little, and I want to emphasize that. I mean, I'm looking at a guy. I don't think you're a millionaire before you got started doing what you're doing, Cody. But what you've done with technology is totally amazing. I mean, 8% Nation. I went to that in Dallas back in July, and I was just blown away. I was like, God, this guy just, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. I don't know how long ago it was. I know it wasn't that long ago, but I'm just blown away what you've been able to do with YouTube and all of the technology that you've been able to harness and use. And
Thanks, buddy.
so, I think it's really important to look at other people and how they're succeeding and copy those people, emulate those people. That's what I've done in my career. Is I found people that were just, doing really well and tried to figure out what they're doing. Sometimes that worked for me. Sometimes it didn't. Sometimes I took a small piece of what they were doing away from the conversation and tried to implement it in, what I was doing. But one word I want to say here that everybody needs to hear is campaigns. You need to be running campaigns. You need to be using technology, running campaigns to prospect and to find people. And you need to do it on a massive scale. Okay. Calling 100 people a day isn't going to do it. You're not going to be $1 million producer doing that. Does anybody know you exist? That's a question I ask myself all the time. That gets my blood going, like, all right, we need to create more content. We've got to run more campaigns. If no one knows you exist, you're just sitting there in a room twiddling your thumbs and hoping something happens. And it's just not, it's not going to work doing that.
Right.
So you got to create content in numerous forms, and you got to get recognized. And so the point there is you can't be one dimensional. You got to be multi-dimensional, and you got to reach a lot of people. You got to reach thousands of people, not, you know, a handful, hundreds. You need to be thinking in the thousands.
Yes.
And so again, using today's technology is really important. Some of the things that we do is, well, one I'd like to say here is that you need to improve your online presence, your profiles, LinkedIn, Facebook. You know, I'm assuming everybody has websites and profiles on most of the social media outlets, but you need to improve those. You know, update your picture, you know, spiff it up some. You know, I think that's really an important place to start. And then you need to be connecting daily, posting daily, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Alignable, Yelp, whatever it takes. And you may need to hire a virtual assistant. That's what we do. I found our biggest producer in our company using a virtual assistant that was just sending out a copy and pasted message. We now have it automated, but that's how we found our top producer, and he is $1 million producer, and we're very proud of him. He hasn't been in the insurance business but like 2 years, which is also amazing. I know an agent that's spending like $35 a day on Facebook, and he's just got more leads than he knows what to do with. But you want those to be, you know, you want to funnel those into a calendar. I used to think that the live transfer calls were the way to go. I really don't like those because they always happen at an inopportune time. That's my personal opinion. You get a meeting, your mother calls you, you know, whatever, and you got this hot lead. And so the calendar works a lot better if you can funnel those leads into a calendar with the use of a CRM. If you're not using a CRM, you're making a huge mistake. There's a lot of good ones out there. There's a ton of them, but you need to be using a CRM because you're going to be reaching out to thousands of people, and there's no way to do this by hand or pen and paper. We're no longer in an analog world. You need to get, you know, with the times and use technology. One thing that we do is we buy a lot of data. Okay. Now I want to distinguish data from leads. I don't really like buying leads. I've never found that it's very effective in our market, but we buy a lot of data of self-employed individuals, people in certain income ranges, typically between the ages of 30 and 60. You know, we want them under 65 and in the right demographic. And we choose the states too that we purchase because our plans are typically in about 38, 39 states that are typically more conservative. And so we buy a lot of data. We download that data, we put it into our CRM, and we start running those campaigns. You can run email campaigns, voicemail. It's a ringless voicemail drop. Those can work really, really well. You do have to leave typically a phone number with those, but they can work well. You know, people, you know, they don't hear it ring. It just goes into their voicemail, and they're able to retrieve that, listen to the message, and call you. But you want to be coming from multiple directions. You don't want to be, again, one-dimensional. The idea is to be multi-dimensional. And we also are buying banner ads, okay? Like we're buying banner ads on Fox News, Newsmax for about $690 a month. And those are great because they're targeting an audience that we're really interested in talking to. That works really well. And then radio works really well if you have the budget for it, but it is a little more expensive. We've got some agents that are starting to run TV spots, 30-minute spots, and those are expensive. But if you ramp up and you get going and you do very well, you can afford to do that. The most successful agents that I've ever seen, and what has worked for me better than anything, is putting those commission dollars that you earn back into your business. And if you do that, you'll make a fortune. If you spend it on cars and bigger homes and stuff like that, you're making a mistake. Those things can come later, and I'm not saying not to do those things, But while you're trying to get the business really cranking, you need to put those commission dollars back into your business. And one last thing that we do a lot of that I like is reputation management. We send out a request for reviews to a lot of our clients once we're able to help them. And we get a lot of traction that way, and it really helps for people to see those reviews, and hopefully they're positive. We've pretty much had all positive reviews. If you're doing a good job, you will get positive reviews.
Yeah, this is good, man. You're sharing the whole playbook. Like, William's not holding anything back.
Well, let me tell you, I can share the whole playbook. Executing the playbook is that's where it gets a little more challenging. And that's what we help agents do, is to execute that playbook so that they really can experience the success that we're talking about here.
Yes.
And, once you get those campaigns really going, you need to nurture those. You need to have follow-up emails. You need to have follow-up, with all of your campaigns, so that, one touch isn't going to do it. Everybody should know this by now. 4, 5, 6 touches. If they don't want to hear from you anymore in the CRMs, they can opt out, right? And if they opt out, we respect that. We're not going to hound people to death, but we are going to try to stay in front of people. And that's the key here, staying in front of them.
That's right. And you're running your business, man. You're one question. So approximately what should the advertisement budget be per month for $1 million producer? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, that is a tough one to answer. I mean, I've seen agents spend $1,000, $1,200 a month and work very hard at it. I've got one agent that spends about $5,500 a month, and he's writing more than anyone. So the way I would answer that is, you could probably do it on $1,200 a month, but it's a lot easier and a lot faster if you can add more to that. I think that the more you put into your business, the more you're going to get out of it. And that just stands to reason. That's just common sense. But one thing I'd like to share with you that will not cost you anything, or not much of anything, and this is really my favorite, and that's referral partnerships. We find more business through other agents than almost any place. And we find as much through other agents as we do running all these campaigns. But together, they can make you $1 million producer. And here's what I really mean specifically. We'll reach out to agents like that, or like P&C agents are great. Property and casualty agents typically don't want to mess with health insurance. Now, there's always exceptions, right? But most of the time, they've got clients that they have home, auto, and we love reaching out to them and building a relationship with them. And guess what? We run campaigns to them as well, because we want to stay in front of them and remind them that, hey, we're out here. Don't forget me. If someone comes in your office, gives you a phone call, needs help with health insurance, we're right here to help you. And another avenue we love is Aflac, Colonial, all the worksite agents. Man, they've got accounts with people in those accounts that need health insurance. Most of them don't have Blue Cross Blue Shield. Most of them are not big accounts. They may have 10, 15, 20, 30 employees, but those are gold mines, because those are the accounts the big time health brokers don't go for. They want to go after the big stuff. So those smaller accounts are fantastic. And you've got an agent that will actually introduce you and explain, hey, this is my buddy, Bill or Bob or William or whatever, and he's a health insurance specialist. They love us because when we write health insurance, guess what they get to do? They get to write more Aflac or Colonial or whatever they're offering. Everything starts with health. That's my belief. And so we've formed a lot of great relationships with agents in those areas. Captive agents of any kind are fantastic because they got one option typically. And no offense, I started off as a captive agent, and I was glad when I escaped that world after 7 years. I did learn a lot. I was very focused. There is benefit to it. But once you learn the business, if you can become a non-captive agent or move away from that, if you know what you're doing, you can be very, very successful if you focus and you know what you're doing. It took me a while to learn that. I stumbled around, and wasn't focused, but But captive agents are a great source. Life insurance agents are a great source. They're always talking to people. Those people need health insurance. I mean, I think it goes pretty much without being said, but I'll say it anyway. Your warm market is probably your best market, friends, family, neighbors. But how many people do you know in the insurance industry? You know a lot, probably. You have a lot of colleagues in the industry. Ask them,
Yes.
hey, who does your health insurance? We have an agent that's all he does. He goes around town, he picks up his cleaning, he gets to pick up his car from maintenance. Everywhere he goes, he says, hey, who helps you with your health insurance? And if you do that with life insurance, people run from you. But if you do that with health insurance, they'll tackle you. They'll want to know what you got, how you can help them, how you can help them save money. And so, it works. It works really well.
It's good, buddy. I love it. And you're sharing a lot of stuff that you don't have to, which is really cool. We've got time for a couple minutes of questions. I'll also, William, I know we're getting a lot that are like, dude, I've got a ton of questions. I love the content. I love how he's sharing a lot of valuable info. I'm going to put William's email, phone number, and website address in chat so that you can reach out to him if you would like to. Okay. What do you think, William? What is there anything we haven't shared? Joshua said, if an agent has a $2,500 monthly budget, how would you use it?
If I had a $2,500 monthly budget, the first thing I would do is I'd buy a CRM. Then I would buy some really good data. We've got a number of sources where you can buy that data. Again, those are not leads. We're talking about thousands of names that are targeted for self-employed. Could be real estate agents, travel nurses, contractors, but those are all people that don't have access to group medical. So I would do that. I would run the email campaigns, the ringless voicemail drops. You could probably squeeze in a banner ad, and we could help you do that. So if I had $2,500 to work with, that's probably what I would do.
Cool. That's a good question, buddy. Any other questions thank you, Joshua Rockwood. Any other questions for William Allison tonight? I'm curious about what licenses do you need?
Well, you do need a license in your home state, of course, for health. Most agents I know of have a life and health license. If you're going to work virtually and you're going to work all across the country, like most of our agents do, you will need to buy a license in each of those states. What I do, though, is I tell everybody, listen, buy data for certain states that are highly populated, Texas, Florida, that are typically conservative states where our plans do very well. Those are areas I would target. You can add the others later. The whole Southeast and Southwest part of the country is really good. What's not good, California is a highly regulated insurance state that we try to avoid. We can do business there, but it works better in a lot of other areas. New England is challenging, but we do write a lot of business in Maine, of all places.
Wow.
Yeah. And Pennsylvania is really good.
I know you need AHIP for Medicare Advantage, but you don't need it for health, right? For what you do.
A certification?
Right.
No, not in the plans that we write. Now, if you're going to write through the marketplace, you do need a certification. We don't do much of that. We do a little, but you can, if you get a license, a health and life license in each state where you're going to write, that's sufficient. Most of the time they're like $50, give or take. There's a couple of states that are more expensive, like Illinois and so forth. But you can add those as you go.
Yes. Richard, one of the companies that we use for test prep is Excel, XCEL, testing solutions. I'm not sure what William recommends, but
my youngest son just passed the insurance exam, and there's a gentleman down in Florida, Morton Schools. Brian Morton is really good. I will warn you up front, Brian runs his class like a sergeant in a boot camp, man. I mean, he's tough, but I know why he's tough, because a lot of agents, they don't know, or a lot of people don't know what they want to do, and they're not sure if they want to get their license, but he'll hold you accountable. But that's what you need. I told my son, I said, don't worry, we'll teach you all the marketing, just get the license, which he did. And both my sons passed it the first time out. So, but Brian Morton, mortonschools.com is really good.
What's a good what CRM do you use if you're cool sharing?
Yeah, we like High Level. That's the one we use. There's a lot of other ones out there. Um, I think it's Radius. Used to be called Radius Bob. I think they just call it Radius now.
Yep. Yep.
That's a really good one. There's a lot of them out there that are, I mean, probably very capable, but those are the two that I've seen that work really well. If you're going to power dial, VanillaSoft is really good. They've got scripting that's on screen. They've got all kinds of features. That's not my favorite thing to do. So we don't really, I don't use it. But I know a lot of agents that do that really like it.
I like it. Do you, what was some of the, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Do you conduct business in the state of Nevada?
We do. Yes.
Cool.
We actually have plans we can write in all 50 states, but our favorite kind of sweet spot is about 38 states, the 38 states that avoid California and New England. But we can actually write health insurance in New York. And we target a lot of agents that we know cannot write business there because we do have the capability.
Yes. Thoughts on being a new agent and starting out in the ACA space? Well, you don't. Yeah.
I mean, that's not my recommendation. I've worked in the ACA space and I think it's very challenging. I can tell you that our agents can write coverage in about a third of the time that it will take you in the marketplace. The questions are repetitive. It typically takes, I think, 45 minutes, maybe an hour to write someone. And don't get me wrong, we're not against the marketplace. It does have its place. We just believe that you can do a lot better as an agent with young families, under 65 families, with these non-traditional health plans that are fully underwritten.
Yes. I love it. Let's see. I just left a captive agency and I'm now independent, starting with no book to work with. What would be the first thing you would do as a life and health insurance agent? I'm a little nervous, but I can now offer so much more to clients, which can be a plus. It can also be a minus because there's so much to sell. What do you think about that?
I would start with the campaigns. I would run those campaigns. I would start talking to people. I would, if you're new, you need to learn how to talk to people about insurance. Like this agent I mentioned earlier, Jeff, when he goes around town, he runs into people, he asks them, hey, who handles your health insurance? He just asks. And if you just open your mouth and ask people, again, health insurance is a very responsive market, other than,
yes,
as opposed to a lot of the other markets like life and property casualty and so forth. And honestly, my older son started about 15 months ago working with me, lost his job during the pandemic, got his license, started working with me, struggled at first. He asked me, how can I learn to present better or close better? And I said, well, there's this guy on YouTube named Cody Askins, and he's got a how-to video on just about every insurance sales subject that you can think of.
True.
And I said, go watch some of those videos and then come back and tell me what you think. And he came back and he said, man, this dude is amazing. And I said, I know. I said, man, I've been doing this 31 years and I learned stuff watching Cody's videos.
Thanks.
And so we appreciate that free content that you've provided because it's really helped. And now what he's doing is he's sharing that with his agents. He's got a small team and they're going to your YouTube channel and watching your videos. And there's plenty to watch.
Well, there's a lot. Yes. And thank you for that. I appreciate the kind words. Even with leads from social media, do you find it hard to get people on the phone? Yes.
Yeah. And honestly, if you'll use kind of that funnel approach where you're pushing those leads out to a calendar with some automation, text reminders, make sure they opted in. You got to be careful with texting because of the regulations, but if they have opted in, you got a record of that. I think you're safe to do that. Send them text reminders, things like that. I would tell people you work by appointment only, because if you tell them that, they feel like they're getting a specialist. They feel like it's almost like going to the doctor, right? You ever question the doctor much? I mean, not many people do. I mean, if you're chasing them you're in a bad strategic position. If they're coming after you, that's what you want. That's what we're after here, is them coming to you rather than you going to them.
Yes, that's right. I love it, buddy. Any other questions for William? Dude, thank you for all your time. You've been super informative. I've done a ton of webinars, and most do not get down into the weeds and share as much as you have. I mean that. It's really, really, really good.
Well, we've said a lot, but again, the execution, that's where
yeah,
it's challenging, is a lot of people don't know how to use these technologies. Hey, I mean, I have to hire people to help me do this stuff because I get stumped sometimes, but call me, email me. I'll be glad to help you any way I can. And again, if you're not in the health space, you can use this technology and the things we've discussed here for other markets. This is just my favorite market and what I enjoy doing, and it's made us very successful.
Yes. Well, appreciate you very much. I'm going to put his email, phone, and web address right here one more time. Copy and paste it, screenshot it, email it, whatever. Okay. William, thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate you. If you have questions, please reach out to William and his team, and they can help you. Again, William, you rock. Good luck this health insurance season, and thank you for all your time tonight.
You bet. Thank you, Cody. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, sir. You guys have an amazing night. Thanks for being on the webinar. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. There's a lot of agents out there, man, that they want to sell with a phone. I think a lot of you, listening, you would love to do that. But they just struggle to do it. They're like, I don't have the perfect script. I don't know what to say when they want me to mail them stuff. Or I've always done face-to-face sales. And so this